Morning, welcome to another session of Plim Pilates. I thought I'd do some straight line stuff. So let's crack on. So feet underneath, hips, knees, shoulders. I always like eyes closed. Again, if you don't really like your eyes being closed, start with your eyes open and then see if you can progress to eyes closed. Okay, just going to warm up those feet, so get some messages going from feet to brain. So we'll have some weight transfer to your toes, back to the middle, out to the side, to the middle, heels to middle, side to middle. So keep kind of going around on your points on a cross, north, south, east, west. Once you've kind of got it going, mix it up a little bit, west to east, back to the middle. If you can, keep trying to bring yourself back to that middle point and see how accurately you hit that middle point. So is your middle definitely middle, or is your middle a little bit biased to your left or to your right, to the front or the back? So all these little investigations just tell us a little bit about what your perhaps normal setting, normal behaviour is, whether you've got a preferred dominant leg, is that linking with any issues that we've got going on. Okay, so just warming up. Soles of your feet, you're getting messages going, that should be tapping into your balance reactions, and then we'll have some little circles. So let's go around the perimeter of your feet, so some circles clockwise and then anti-clockwise. Okay, so all the while here we're trying to keep a straight line, so we're keeping control of our middle, using adjusting feet and legs to control that. So we can do it as we go out to different points, or we can do it on our circles. And then extra challenge as ever is with our arms up. And I always like, if we're going to go to arms up, can we have a little reach away, a little lengthen? Okay, so we can go back to our circles again, clockwise and then anti-clockwise. Again, eyes open if you don't like it, eyes closed if you don't mind it. Okay. And then we'll warm up our balance. So if we can keep our arms up there, we'll keep our arms up there. Now, so straight lining. So again, symmetry, if you've been with us from the beginning. So we're looking at left, right symmetry. We're looking for kinks and straightening in the middle. So with our knee up, so we'll have a little knee lift. So we can think about body line, or we can think about leg line. So if I lift my leg up, something like that, that's obviously not straight, but that tells us that our lift action isn't straight. Obviously if my body's going, I'm starting to hitch up, that's not straight, so I want a nice clean left line, right line on that body. And again, I want this foot picking up underneath your knee. Again, life doesn't always happen like that, but this is just says, can you? If you've got the ability to do it, that's fine. If you haven't got the ability to do it, we want to kind of know why. Okay, so we've got a nice leg pick up there. Again, if you're coping with that nice and easily, then you can go to your eyes closed. But your balance has got to be pretty alright for that. Okay, so knee lift, straight lining on that standing leg side. Okay, let's have a little bit of mobility, a little bit of balance challenge. So in our straight lines, we're going to pull, we're going to hold our middle line nice and straight as we just bring a shoulder back behind that straight line. Okay, so you want to hold on to that front. It shouldn't be going rigid, we shouldn't be pulling it on, but we should have just enough to overcome the effort of pulling the arm back. That needs our upper back to move, and we just need enough in the front to hold on to that. And then just watch things like headline. So if you can see yourselves, watch where your head ends up in front of the line, pulling back, everything going back, or can you just hold it nice and straight? Okay, same for your hip now. So hip line is down here, and I want a leg to pull behind that line and behind that line. This mat's going to annoy me, so let me step off. So a slide behind and a slide behind. So again, the trunk, the body is going to be remaining nice and straight. And equally, if we're doing it from the front, the leg that we stand on should remain straight. So we shouldn't have to do weird sort of pulls and twists to get ourselves back there. We're looking at the ability of the hip to extend, which is really important for nice, clean, efficient walking, definitely for your running. So all your sporting activities, you're going to need that leg going behind that line. The extra challenge here is, can you maintain the top at the same time as the bottom going? So you can switch between the two. So you can have some arms going and then some legs going. And again, if you're relatively high functioning, you can see if you can get the two going together. So middle nice and secure as the arm and leg come behind that straight line. There we go. So that's giving your arms a good bit of a workout, upper back a bit of a loosen up, hips going a little bit. Good. Okay, so we might want to loosen ourselves up a little bit after that. So we'll have our foot rollers, knee rollers, trunk going, arms going. I'll keep my head still for a minute. Again, it's quite telling usually on a lot of patients whether you can actually keep your head static over that moving body. Good. Okay, and we'll have some roll down. So unstacking that body, rollering down towards the floor, rollering back up. Rollering down, then rollering up. Pay attention to where you feel movement, where you feel stretch. If you don't like it, play with things. Put some more bend into your knees. Maybe let your head stay out. Maybe if you're worried about it, let your hands just sort of slide up and down your legs, just to give yourself that little bit of support to get going. Get it warmed up and then see if you can take it away. And if you're good, you can perhaps just try with your legs a little bit straighter and see how much stretch you get in the back of your hamstrings. And everything should be reasonably symmetrical. So left and right want to feel pretty much the same. Okay. So then we'll have some straight lines down on hands and knees. So again, can we have enough bottom and tummy and shoulder muscles and everything just to hold us up in a straight line? So that's not straight, that's not straight, that's not straight. So just thinking, head, crown of your head pushing away from your tailbone with a nice lengthened line from the top out through the bottom, with enough effort just to hold it there, but the effort shouldn't be high. So nice and gentle, 1s and 2s out of 10 effort wise. And then we're going to see if we can float the arm up. So a lot of people won't get up to straight. It's actually pretty hard to get right up to straight. I don't even know if I'm up there, without cheating. And the cheat will be probably a chest pull-up, so you'll get some twist and some roll away. So again, start off lower and see if you can get that a little bit higher. And depending on what shoulders are like, you know, you could play with which angle that your arm goes up, so maybe a bit more of a palm heading up to ceiling rather than palm down. So again, nice bit of moving for the shoulders, good bit of stabilising for the upper body and lower body, and definitely a requirement on the upper back to be mobile enough to get that arm up there. Okay, so some upper body straight lines, we can do some lower body straight lines. So a slot out the back, a slot out the back. Again, even probably harder again to get the leg up to straight line, because invariably we'll have a bit of that, or we'll have a little bit of that to get the leg up. So if you find your leg going miles up in the air, you're doing it from somewhere other than your hip. So even the very flexibles, the dancers, the ballet dancers and stuff, the swimmers quite often, anatomically you might have a little bit more movement, but we've got to wonder when we see it go miles up, miles past the norm, whether you're getting it from there or elsewhere. So this should be using the back of your leg to bring the leg up, but we still want to keep all of this section, I'll swap legs, this section here all wants to be nice and straight and flat. So the front of the body shouldn't be dropping out. That makes life very easy. We want to keep that front side just in check. Out we go. Okay, so there's our straight lines. And again, the advanced, we can get you onto arms and leg. Right, let's go onto your backs. So straight lines again. We'll do it one-sided, so we'll have a left side and then a right side. So there's my straight line. There's my straight line. Okay, so to start with, we're going to do it just by actively relaxing, actively letting go. Nothing's getting forced anywhere. We're going to take tension out of the system and just sink, flatten down. Okay, so if you're fairly confident that you're flat down, then we can put some stretch in. So heel presses away, fingers reach away. One of the analogies you use is rolling out dough. So there's your dough on the counter and then rolling pin, and you're wanting to flatten it, stretch it along the work surface. So think of that idea in your head to try and keep that lower back just in contact, in check. So it's a reach and a lengthen. Reach and a lengthen. So there's your stretch. Okay. So then we can double up. So both arms and one leg. Both arms and the other leg. So where we will tend to lose it again is that lift of your lower back. Ribs start to flare. So just want to keep that in check again. Not by forcing it down, because then we're going to get stuck at the shoulders. Then you're going to start getting a lot of pinch at the back of the shoulders. So we want to relax it down, free up the shoulders, get some length from the underside there as you get your stretch. Okay, so we'll keep it one-sided now. Float it back. There's your reach. From that reach, I just want you to do a little leg hover. Let it go back down. Then a hand press and let it go back down. Leg hover, hand press. So alternate between the two. Now, because we're thinking about straight lines here, straight isn't always just about arching up and slumping down. What about left versus right? So now that we're doing a one-sided activity, it is very likely that we might be drifting off to that side. So my left side is out straight, and I might now be just dropping over to my left. So now pay attention to the right side. That needs to stay anchored down. That's your stabilising side. Hover, press. Hover the leg, press. So you can do this at level 2 out of 10 effort, 8 out of 10 effort. What happens is the harder it gets, the more support you're going to need to produce force. So we're going to need more of a foot press on the other side, more engagement from the tummy. So the positioning should stay the same, but just the effort around it ramps up, swapping it over. So there's the reach, fingertips, push out with the heel. There's the hover with the leg. There's the press with the hand. Hover with the leg, press with the hand. Hover, press. So what we should be feeling is a sort of switching. So the leg comes on, the tummy tightens, then it relaxes. Hand presses, tummy tightens. But what you should be able to do is kind of feel the different requirements of your abdominals as you use different body parts. So hover and press. Hover and press. Hover and press. Good. Okay, so let's arms down per side. Let's change it a little bit. Let's take a hip, leg out to the side and bring it back in. So heel slide out, leg comes back in. If I'm being really picky, I'm just asking you to take the heel out to the side rather than just taking the leg out to the side. Why? Because we're going to get stuck more quickly if we take the heel out to the side, and then that's going to show us about pulling the body off that straight line. So hip movement is going to come from down here. That's where the hinge happens. Heel pushes away. The rest of the body stays flat, top versus bottom, but also flat left versus right, and also straight in terms of now I don't want any side bend in my body because I just want to move that hip. Okay, if that's all dead easy, there's your reach, then you can get your lengthen away with your arms. Okay, then we can swap it over. Reach away, heel slide out, bring it back in. So again, we shouldn't have masses of movement. If you have, just check how you're doing it. Is it because the leg is rolling it out? Is it because now that pelvis is lifting right up? Is it because we're arching? So we're actually just getting movement from elsewhere in the body. Might not be a problem, but again, it might be. So the question is, can you do something nice and cleanly, or are we having to go and get some compensations from elsewhere? So there's that heel out to the side with the arms back overhead. So again, if it's too much with your arms and you can feel that pulling you up, arms come down. If your head's on the floor, try its head up on a block like I've got. So like this, bit nice and in contact with just enough on, enough press to allow that leg to pull out to the side and return without all sorts of body wobbles. Okay. Right, okay, let's go off your backs. Let's go on to sides. We'll do a leg lift on the side. So try and line your feet up with the back side of your body. Stack up your shoulders, stack up your hips. So we're not rolled forwards, we're not rolled back, we're not squidged down into the floor. Top hip presses away to keep some nice length. Push out the foot. Now, straight line. Again, most when we come onto the sides, the leg will be in front of the body. I want you to keep that leg in line with the back side of the body. There's your leg lift and lower. Again, this is from your hip down there, not from waist. And again, I'm looking, we're not getting the leg right up there. Again, we're going for more of a clean boring anatomy abduction. So again, we're going to get curtailed by anatomy, or we should do, and strength. So we're just wanting the hip to move and we're trying to not compensate. So if the leg can go higher than hip height, that's absolutely fine. But again, just watch where you're getting it from. Squidging, bottom side starts dropping. So we've got our lift and our lower. So again, we've got the front side and the back side of our body in nice parallel lines. We can stick an arm overhead. Some of you will find that helpful because it just sort of switches things on a little bit. Some of you will just find it is another thing, it just makes it harder and harder and harder. Things you want to things need to be a challenge, but they do need to be kind of sort of doable. Okay, so that should be getting towards a sort of fatigue point. So we'll swap sides, we'll have a leg lift on the other side. Okay, so you're stacked up, shoulders, hips, top leg extends away and it's in line with the back side of the body, so not in front. Hover it out, push out through the heel so you get that length. There's your lift, there's your lower. Lift, lower, so front stays nice. And again, there's just a little bit of activity, not a lot going on. Back feels nice and relaxed. It's really kind of going for it down in my side of my hip and down into my leg. Again, just watch that it's not kind of slowly coming forwards, or you're getting, oh look, this is quite easy, and you're getting your leg all the way up, and actually what you've turned is you've rolled back, come into hip flexion. Again, it's not necessarily a problem to do that, but as long as you can get what we're asking for. So have we got enough stability to hold as the leg moves? Have we got enough hip strength to be lifting that leg up and down multiple times? So again, then you can go for your arm reach. That always helps me out to start with, although then I'll start to fatigue a little bit more quickly. So there we go with our leg lift and lower. So again, looking for that sort of straight line now, front versus back. We're pulling it out in a different plane, but we're controlling the front and back. Okay, let's switch to tummies. Give your legs a little bit of a breather. So when you're lying on your front, we just want a little bit of switchy on so that the back isn't just sagging down and maybe getting a bit squashed, and the bias comes to maybe some of those back muscles. So what we want to do is switch your bottom and your tummy on, takes the hinge out of your lower back, and that wants to be your start point. Now from there, I'll keep my head up for a minute. If you can, we're going to go to sort of straighty arms. If you can't, keep them bent. So anybody with stiff back, shoulder issues, then maybe you can kind of come to here, and we're going to get a hand lift in this position. If you can cope, we're going to go out to straight, and from there I want you to do a lengthen. So just send that fingertip away from the heel, so one side at a time. A reach, a stretch. Okay, now I've got my head up. If you've got your head down, it's going to look like that. I want you to bring your head up now, and you're just going to hover the back of your head up so it's in line with the back of your shoulders. So forehead and chin, I don't know, couple of centimetres off the floor. So we're not up with the chin looking out to the cupboard. Head is down, chin is down. There's your arm reach. Now that, we can then start going to an arm float. So a bit Supermaning. So you want to get some stretch, and the stretch should kind of happen from around your shoulder blades. Okay, now as the arms are reaching, can we bring in the opposite leg? I'm not going for a lift, I just want to stretch. So arm stretch, reach, float, opposite leg stretch. So reach and hover the arm, just reach and slide with the foot. Opposites. Okay, so it should be a bit of work around the shoulders again, but kind of a nice feeling of stretch as you're doing that. All the while you're supporting your lower back. So a bit of bottom and a little bit of tummy. Okay, so, given that's way past. Okay, knees to chest, give a little hug. What you can do, pick your head up and see if you can get a little bit of rolling on your back happening. Up you come. Again, if you're not that happy with that, head just picks up, just a little bit of roller. Okay, and then coming onto your feet, we'll have a couple of swings to finish. So dropping down, reach up, stretch, top half move away from the bottom half, swing, up and down you go just to wake everything back up again. Okay,